Hey everyone, in this video, we're talking about something that pet owners are usually just not prepared for. So let's say you're in a different country and your dog collapses in the middle of the night. You don't speak the language, you can't get through to a vet, and a hotel checkout is in a couple hours. The airline already bumped your return flight, and now your carrier is refusing to fly your pet back home. Meanwhile, you're searching for an emergency clinic with one hand, trying to comfort your dog with the other, and realizing your regular travel insurance doesn't cover any of it. And neither does your pet insurance, at least not outside the country, and that's usually when the bill hits. So in this video, I want to break down exactly what pet travel insurance covers, how it works, and which of the three main options is actually worth considering depending on the kind of travel you'll be doing. Now, just before we get into which plan to go with, here's something that almost no one is going to tell you up front, and it's one of the easiest ways to end up with the wrong kind of coverage, because pet insurance is not just one thing. Some companies bundle it into a trip insurance policy, where your pet's covered alongside your flight's hotel itinerary. Those are usually short-term plans, and they're focused on emergencies, sudden vet visits, trip delays, anything that messes with your schedule or puts your pet at risk while you're both out of town. Others are full pet health policies that just happen to work internationally. They're built for longer stays and more serious issues, chronic conditions, injuries, even surgeries, but they won't help if your flight gets delayed or you need extra days at a kennel. So what you're actually protecting against ends up being way more important than which brand you actually pick. So yeah, you're sitting there at the emergency clinic, your dog is finally stable, the vet is drawing up the paperwork, and the receptionist hands you the invoice. This is where you find out what kind of plan you actually bought. And Faye is one of the only travel insurance providers that lets you add protection specifically for your pet. It's called Pet Care, and it plugs straight into your main travel policy, so you're not dealing with a second company or a separate claim. It's built for moments like this. The emergency stuff, the big vet bills, the kind where you just need to get help and figure out the paperwork later. What's nice is the whole thing runs on their app. You submit the invoice, confirm the details, and that's it. No printing forms, no tracking down documents weeks later, and when you're standing there in another country trying to get your pet home, that kind of simplicity really does make a difference. Now, you do need to add it within 14 days of booking your trip, but it covers up to $2,500 for emergency vet costs, plus $250 if your return flight gets delayed and you need to board your pet. And the cost for the whole thing? Right around $25. So if that kind of support sounds useful, there's an affiliate link down in the description. It doesn't cost you anything extra, but we might get a small commission on it, which really does help support the channel. And we sometimes have offers there that aren't available anywhere on their main site. Now, let's flip things around. Your pet's not with you this time, they're at home, in a licensed kennel, and you're on your way back from a trip that should have ended 2 days ago. Except your flight got canceled. Again. And now the airlines rebooked you for tomorrow night, but you've already burned through your original boarding reservation. Every extra day is another fee at the kennel. They're trying to reach you, but you're stuck in an airport hotel watching the bill climb. This is where Travelex stands out. They've got a pet care upgrade on 4 of their travel insurance plans, and what's unique is it doesn't just apply to pets traveling with you. If you're delayed getting home and your cat or dog is still in a licensed kennel, they'll cover up to $250 for extra boarding while you're stuck. That's on top of their emergency vet coverage, which, like Faye, goes up to $2,500 when your pet is actually with you on the trip. Now, I will say their claims process can seriously drag on. It's more traditional, lots of paperwork, but if you want coverage that works both while your pet is with you and when they're not, this is the plan that will actually fill that gap. But if you're planning to be abroad for a while, maybe a few months, maybe even longer, and you want your pet's medical care to be fully covered while you're away, then Embrace is one of the few companies that offers that kind of protection. Because unlike Faye or Travelex, this isn't a travel plan. It's a full accident and illness coverage, just like you'd use at home, but it works internationally for up to 6 months. So you can keep the same kind of support no matter where you are. That means coverage for things like chronic conditions, injuries, prescriptions, even congenital issues. Basically, everything short of routine care, which actually is its own add-on called the Wellness Rewards Program. You can use any licensed US veterinarian. There's no network you have to stay inside. Just pick who you trust and go from there. Set your own annual limit, deductible, and how much you get reimbursed, and once you've hit that deductible, they'll cover the rest up to your cap, which can go as high as $15,000 a year. What's nice is they also drop your deductible by $50 every year that you don't file a claim. It's not huge, but it does add up, especially if your pet is healthy now and you're thinking more long-term. Just keep in mind, this doesn't cover delays or cancellations or anything travel related. It's strictly for the medical side. So it's great if you're planning a really long trip or just want to know your pet's covered wherever you are. But it's not a full replacement for trip protection. See, because each of these plans kind of just solves a different problem. Travelex takes a bit more time, sure, but it's got that extra boarding protection if your pet's home and you get stuck. So if your dog's in a kennel and your return flight gets delayed, they'll help cover the extra nights. Look, that's a very narrow use case, but if that's the exact kind of situation you're planning for, it might be worth looking at. Embrace is for longer trips. Doesn't help with delays or logistics at all. This one is just about medical care, but if you're gonna be abroad for a few months and you want that peace of mind in case something bigger happens, it's one of the stronger options for long-term health coverage. And Faye is built for people who are actively traveling with their pet and just want things handled fast. The coverage is already tied to your trip, the claims run through the app, and you're not dealing with extra forms or waiting around to hear back. It's simple and it works the moment you need it. So yeah, depends on the trip, but if you got your furry friend with you overseas and you want to know they're covered, Faye is the one that makes the most sense. If you're planning a trip with your pet, you've been debating whether or not travel insurance is worth it, there really isn't a better choice. And if you're thinking about checking out Faye, there is a link in the description with the best available rates. It's an affiliate link. It usually has discounts that don't show up on their main site, so feel free to take a look if that sounds like a fit. Also, if you're interested in working with us or sponsoring a future video, just reach out using the email in the description below. Hopefully this helped make your next trip a little smoother, and if it did, a thumbs up is always appreciated. And if you got any questions or a weird insurance story of your own, feel free to drop it in the comments below. I always try to get back to as many as I can. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.